people will be listening to the podcast live on TikTok, and I'd be like, while they were watching, while we were doing it,
only one thing for that, there's no room for error, is there?
None here, right, Mick?
Well, yeah. Just Mark, don't do that.
Mick, before we get started, I just I've one question there for you on this. Why should I give you this job?
Why should you give me this job?
You're here for the interview, aren't you?
What, yeah? Because I'm like Aaron Noon, I'm delicious.
I'll follow you, you're delicious. Just in reference to the lovely sign up here.
Yeah.
Well, look, Mick, my neighbour. And TikTok sensation.
Mark, you could have used a better picture of me than what you did on that. I look like somebody that's after being caught at a diesel laundering plant.
Selling green diesel.
Selling green diesel or something,
Oh, stop. Well, look, Mick, you're very welcome, and thank you for coming on to the Tap In Speak Out podcast.
Yeah, I feel a bit like the runt in the litter here. You had a big lineup, and I'm sort of the weakest link here.
I don't know, Mick. I think if you look at the TikTok following of all the people, you're up there. You're definitely up there.
Still having 2 million followers. Hopefully after this.
Not yet. Where I always get the reason we're doing this podcast, Mick, is we want to find out about you, your journey, how you've got from where you were, let's say, 10 years ago, Mick, to where you are now
today, and
what's helped you with your business to date. And we're going to touch on TikTok. We're going to touch on you getting found by people in the street.
And at weddings.
At weddings. We have lots of good stories about that. So, look, it's before we get into the madness of the social media side of things, who's Mick O'Toole? And how did you get from where you were into the pinnacle of your career, sitting in that seat right now?
Sitting in this seat today. Well, that's actually a good question, Mark. I have to think about that. I was always involved plant and machinery and things like that, and I worked for a big quarrying company in Ireland, and when the bus came, unfortunately they went bust as well, and I decided I could see that there was an opening for trailers, and that's where it started out. And was it was always going to be trailers after that, Mick? You seen that gap? I just thought it was a simple business, that there was no, do you know what I'm saying, like cars, you need massive staff, mechanics, do you know, office staff, everything like that, and I just wanted a simple business. And it was the first day of the recession I started it, like, you know, because the company I worked for went bust in the recession as well, so that's when I started it. So it was. How did that feel, Mick, taking the jump from, let's say, working with a company to I'm out on my own? Well, I had I was always involved in plant as well. I had my own plant hire business, but that went as well with that company because I was hired into them as well. So everything practically went overnight. My job went, and the plant hire went as well. So that was it, and I just thought that I could see an opening for trailer sales, and that's when I got into it. A reoccurring theme that we've had through some of the guests is a low point. Recession, you've just mentioned. Yeah. We had a redundancy, and we had bullying. And throughout all of them, let's say yourself and the two other guests have made something of themselves. They've gone on to bigger, better things. What do you put that down to, Mick? What's your drive? What gets you out of bed in the morning? I don't know. I always had probably a lot of drive in me, like, you know, it's hard to really explain. It's just something that you just can't take out with somebody. Like, you're either driven or you're not. You can never make somebody driven. Like, it's either in you or it's not. And I suppose it always was in me, like, you know. So, and that drive, I suppose, has brought you to it's getting you outside your comfort zone. It's doing stuff that you probably, you wouldn't do normally. Well, this definitely isn't me, like. No, well, but you know what?
It is now.
It is now.
But it's we met last week.
Yeah.
And there was one thing that stuck with me from the chat. One thing that stuck with me. If Martin King was sick in the morning,
I'd stand in.
And Virgin Media rang me, I'd stand in.
Yeah.
Compared to the person I met 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yeah.
That's night and day. It's
like I'm actually very disappointed I wasn't offered the Liveline contract. Do you know, like I'm very disappointed in that. Like I never forget the conversation me and you actually had, and because I knew about your marketing experience, and I'm a great believer, if you want a mass head, go to a priest. It's one of my uncle's great sayings. And I said, right, I was afraid 2 years ago, I could just see a change in things. I advertise a lot of my products on a known website. And when I started out advertising on that 10 years ago, you'd put an ad up at night time, there could be 500 views on it. Now it's down to 50.
Yep.
And I said, where is them other 450 people gone that used to be looking and viewing the ads? And I said, there's something up here. And I remember going to you, and because of your marketing, I knew about all that you'd done previously, and I asked you for some advice. And in fairness, you said to me, like, my website, ISOs, all that, and you tidied that up for me, in fairness, and I could see more traffic coming from that. But then you said to me about, I've no social presence. And I said, I'm not really into that. And I remember you saying to me, well, look, you have to be into it. Like, that's the way it's going. And you were advising me on TikTok, and I said, Jesus, Mark, I'm going to shut the door if I have to get up on TikTok in front of a camera. And you said, well, it'll be shut for you if you don't. And I remember thinking, and I said, just Mark, I'm not doing that. And next thing you said, right, come on, we'll have a cup of coffee, we'll discuss football or whatever else. And I said, whoa. And you said, well, you came to me for advice. I'm giving it to you, and you won't listen. And next thing I said, right, so you put me in touch with a guy for the TikToks. Tristan, in fairness, a brilliant lad. And it went from there. And I remember I'd done a couple of videos, and in fairness, you sort of mothered me. You let me put up a couple of videos, and you rang me one day. I never will forget it. And you said, Mick, like, you're not a DJ. Your songs are lovely, and the back end music is great. But if somebody wants to listen to the Dublin Paddies, they'll go onto Spotify. So you're going to have to get in front of the camera. And I said, oh God. And here I am today.
But look, Mick, you haven't looked back.
I haven't looked back. It is actually brilliant advice, Mark. And I'll tell you, I've met a couple of lovely people. I sell an awful lot of stuff off TikTok, and you're right, people want to see the person behind the business. As you say, like, if they want to listen to the Tumbling Paddies, they'll go on to Spotify.
I think it's definitely, you're definitely spot on with that. And again, another theme that has come up in the conversations is all around networking, relationships, and having that long-term relationship with somebody, whether it be a customer. You get repeat business the whole time.
Repeat business the whole time, and if you look after somebody, they'll always be back to you. And that's.
Would you say that's not only in business, Mick? I think that's on a personal level as well.
Personal level, it's no different. You go into a restaurant, and if somebody looks after you, like, and the food is good and everything else, you'll always be back to it. There's no reason not to go back to it, and it's the same in business as well.
So, look, you've built up an audience there now, Mick. You're on TikTok. You've built up an audience that other companies would kill for. You've got it straight from the get-go. I watch your videos, and the person who's sitting here is the person that I see on the videos. It's and that's testament to you. There's nothing put on about it.
No, I never.
Mick O'Toole.
Tristan actually calls me One Take Mick.
One Take Mick,
because, like, I just shoot from the hip. Whatever you see is what you get. If I make a mistake or slur a word or something like that, or
it's okay. Nobody's going to lose any sleep.
Nobody's going to lose.
Is that the secret? Being consistent and just continuously putting, not really caring too much and putting videos up the whole time.
I care. I don't want to, come across bad on it either. Like, because, but I think just be natural on it, and that's it. Like, there's no point in And I see other people have different ways of doing TikToks. Mine is probably a bit bland and a bit boring. Like there's other people, you know, jumping out of trailers and everything else. That's just not me. I just want to explain the trailer, and it's probably a little bit boring to some people, but somebody that's serious about buying a trailer doesn't want to see Mick O'Toole jumping out of it. Do you know? And
100%. But I think you push safety a lot. You push regulations a lot. You know the trailers inside out. You've told me stories about servicing trailers that probably weren't even bought from you at one stage. And then that customer is a repeat customer.
Now.
And I suppose that's testament to you. As I said, you're the person behind that camera is the person they're going to meet when they go to buy a trailer. That's who they're going to meet
when they call in.
Look, just a lot of companies they're scared, like you were 2 years ago, Mick, to put themselves in front of a camera. And smaller companies, and not I'm talking about all different types of industries, boutiques, any sort of retail shops. What would be your advice to them?
Go for it. Because I'll tell you, you really get to see the person behind it. And TikTok and everything like that is a great platform to see the person behind it, and consistency as well, and the whole lot. And an awful lot of people might be lovely people behind the counter, but if you can't see it, do you know what I'm saying? Like, you probably don't know that if you weren't a customer, and when you get to see them on TikTok, you get to see who they are and what they are like. And I know it's daunting. I never forget the first one I done, I was there, and even the day before I done it, I said, oh God, I'll just pick another song. You know? And I remember you saying that, Mick, you're not a DJ. I was sort of running out of songs at that stage as well, like, so, you know, just go for it, and that's it. Like, you can't change who you are.
No.
That's it. What you are behind the camera, that's what you are, and like, there's no point in putting on a front, and you can't change who you are, and that's it. Like,
there's a bit of a stigma around social media, and there's a lot of negativity around certain parts of social media. I don't want to focus on the negative side of it, Mick, because there's enough people that talk about that. The positive side of it, Mick, how do you manage that kind of positive side of it, and how do you gauge success from social media? Is it through sales, followers, what is it?
People you meet. Do you know, people you meet. Like, and even for me, looking at other people, there was one guy there, I never knew him ever before, I never met him or anything like that. Sean Kenny was his name, in Ballinasloe, he was doing up a tractor. And every evening he'd be in doing up the tractor, and he'd done videos on it, and I used to love every night, like, I'd be watching him and everything, and I felt I nearly knew Sean by the end. And when he finished the tractor, I said, oh Jesus, what are we going to do now? And I actually messaged Sean, and one day I said, you know, I messaged him on TikTok, and one day I said to him, someday if you're ever passing, called in, and we were chatting for ages. And the same evening I had to go away, and I was raging, like, because we were chatting in the yard for over an hour, and I could have spent another 4 hours chatting. So like, that was somebody that so that's one of the positive things. And look, you'll always get, you know,
you can curse if you like, me.
But you'll always get the keyboard warrior, do you know what I'm saying? But look, why would you even worry about him? Like, do you know?
You wouldn't.
Because if he had something better to do in his life, he wouldn't be there making, like, now in fairness, I don't see an awful lot of that. I remember one comment, and it was actually very funny, and I should have actually left it up, and it's going back to me being serious on the camera. I may be a bit bored or whatever. I woke up one morning and a fella had put up a comment, I'd see you're some crack at the Christmas party. And I deleted it, but I'll tell you, I laughed about 10 times during the day about that. Like, that was probably, and it wasn't a negative comment, it was actually funny, like, you know.
I hope you didn't know me.
Well, no.
It definitely wasn't me.
But like, so there hasn't been too much negativity in it, like, and I wouldn't worry, anybody that's online trolling people like that, they're not worth at the thought of it. Like, so I wouldn't discourage anybody from getting up on social media or doing anything because of that.
Do you think TikTok has changed your reputation in any way?
I hope so. I hope so. You're getting to see who's behind the business. You know, before that, it was an ad on a website. People didn't know who Mick O'Toole was, and probably still a lot of people don't know who he was, but you know, people can see who we are and put a face to the business, and I think that's very, very important.
What do you feel is harder at the minute, Mick? Running the business or keeping up with your TikTok followers?
Do you know what the hardest part of business is? Communication.
Okay.
It's absolutely, and I tell you, I'm actually frightened what's going to happen to the world, like with communication. Like everybody is texting, nobody wants to talk anymore or anything like that. And I think it's going to absolutely destroy businesses. Like the amount of text messages I do get, and like it just, you know, where somebody picks up the phone, well, Mick, how was things? Ringing about the trailer there, what size is it, blah, blah, blah. I remember one day, I just don't answer text messages anymore, and it's probably a little bit ignorant on my behalf, but you couldn't do it. Like, you'd want a new set of fingers and thumbs every evening, like if you were like, one day I was in the yard, and next thing, this is just an example why I don't. How much is the trailer? Which one? The one on Dundee. Which one is it? Because like I could have 60 ads on Dundee. The one with the mesh sides, and I'm there, right, that has narrowed that down to 30. Has it wheels on the outside, wheels on the. And before I knew it, over the course of 3 hours, I had 18 text messages. And at the end, I just said, and I picked up the phone and I said, well, you're ringing about a trailer there, and blah, blah, blah. 5 minutes, sold, done. Dusted.
It's a real, well, I'd call it an old school way of doing sales, but you can very, very quickly see it coming back around.
Oh yeah, because like if people stop speaking and texting the whole time, like I tell you, I was probably one of the best spellers in Ireland, because I had such bad handwriting. I'd say up to leaving cert, I was on red and blue lines. And I always remember that sentence, the quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dogs, because every letter of the alphabet was on that, and the teachers were constantly, my handwriting, it was like a doctor's prescription. And then as I got older and got a mobile phone, I got predictive text. And now I can hardly spell cat. I nearly have to Google it. And if people are texting the whole time and emailing the whole time, they're soon going to, not be able to hold a conversation.
Absolutely. Do you find that in let's say the younger generation now?
Oh yeah, big time. Everything is text and email and everything like that. And like, as I said, that text message over that trailer sale went on over the course of 3 hours over and back, and that was only one. And in the end I just said, here, and I rang him, and that was it, and explained all about the trailer, done, dusted. That was it.
Like social media, Mick, is there a fear now with young people to pick the phone up?
Yeah.
Why do you think it is?
Do you know something? I blame a lot of it. I'm probably going to get shot for this, but I blame a lot of it on the parents. Like, I was away on holiday recently, beautiful hotel, and there was breakfast in the morning, and I seen a mother, a father, and there was 3 kids there, probably from 8 to 14, and the 5 of them was on the phones, like.
Oh, watching Mick O'Toole's TikToks.
No, but like, the 5 of them was on phones, and they weren't talking or nothing, and I just said, Jesus, But
it's so widely available now, and that's how. I get what you're saying, Mick. Absolutely.
And I see it. Young people today don't know who anyone was. Like, I grew up in a small little town above in Trim. I knew everybody in the town. And I can remember going into Paddy Kelly's barbers in Trim to get my hair cut on the way home from school. And you go in and it was a sitting room in a house, and you'd sit down. I remember one fella saying to me, well, young O'Toole, did you learn anything today? And I was only actually thinking this the other day, and I was trying to be smart. I said, I was just doing algebra. I never needed a square root of anything yet, he said. But he just struck up conversation. I was probably never talking to that man before, but I knew who he was. he knew who I was. Like, you go down a town today, nobody knows anybody.
You're spot on. I obviously grew up in Dublin.
Yeah.
And in early life, you always knew who your neighbours were. Yeah. But before I moved to Athlone, then it was definitely a case of you didn't really know who your neighbours were anymore. You didn't really interact. You had your front door. That was it. So that's definitely changed. For me, it's opened my eyes moving down to Athlone that it's people do know people, and I think I said to you when I first moved down, I find it difficult to get used to saying hello to the postman. Yeah. He delivered me a letter and I kind of stood there, asked how I was. I was like, do I give you a tip or something? Or how does this work? But look, you're what I see, especially in the digital side of things, is it's a big crowded place. Yeah. And it always swings around with who can be the best, who can push ads, or who can make the best content. Yeah. It still never beats this
old school business. Talking. And I'll give you two brilliant examples of old school business that I seen recently, and I'll tell you, I very rarely see it anymore. And one of them it'll always stick out in my mind. Myself and my wife went in and bought a new car in January. Yep. I was dealing with the owner. I suppose better give him a plug.
Give him a plug.
Yeah, Colm Quinn, BMW. Very and good. I was dealing with Colm on the phone. Robert, his sales manager, showed me all around the car, everything, the whole light. Picked the car, bought it, and that was it. And as I say, I done the deal with Colm over the phone. He wasn't there. My wife drives the car. So a couple of months had passed, and myself and my wife met up one day for lunch in the Bounty in Athlone, and walked in, and I seen Colm and Robert there. And I said, "Hi Colm, hi Robert, how are you, Mick, how is things?" And they were halfway through the dinner. Next thing, Colm got up and come over, and he said, "You are Mick's wife, Robert's just after telling me." Wow. Shook her hands. Wow. "Thanks very much for buying and driving one of my cars. Can I get you a tea or a coffee?" Now, he left his dinner behind him. He was halfway through the dinner. And I just thought, Classic. And when he went back and sat down, she said, "But that Colm Quinn, he left his dinner to come over. And if he's selling Zetor tractors in years to come, she'll be driving." Do you know what I'm saying? She will always remember that. And it was just simple, old school, couldn't believe it.
Repeat business for companies, Mick, is so important. And a lot of companies can take it for... Well, they might forget it. Something like that. And it doesn't take much to pop over, introduce yourself. Thank you
for driving one of my cars. The man sells a couple of thousand cars a year. And the second example was, I sell a good few trailers to a company in Loughrea. They have a depot in Loughrea and Ennis. Loughrea plant and tool hire. They hire out everything from a drill bit to a teleporter. Got very friendly with the owner over years. And one Friday, he called in to the shop, and he said, "I'm not looking for anything today." He was on the way to a music festival up in Donegal, and he said, "I just called in and said I'd say hello," and he spent 10 minutes chatting to me. He was on the way to Donegal, and now I'm afraid to make profit on it. But that just, if he rang me at 3 o'clock in the morning and said, "I'm stuck for a trailer," I would be straight down. And you can't get that on an email or a text message. No. That's what I'm trying to...
Yeah, it's that personal touch, it's that personal experience, and it can't be beaten. It really can't be beaten. And you find out, I think if you meet somebody in person, you sit down and have a cup of coffee with them, how long are you going to talk about business for? A couple of minutes, maybe?
Couple of minutes.
And then you find out so much more about that person. Yeah. You relate to that person and you build that relationship up over years.
And that's the way it is. And I've customers there that I'm dealing with for years, and just, it's old school, and that's it. And I could have a salesman, maybe 2 salesmen out there. There's times I don't know my name going home at the evening, but everybody that comes in wants to deal with Mick O'Toole. It's no different, if you have a small shop or anything like that. I just think and I could grow the business a lot more, but I'm happy the way it is. And it's absolutely the best investment I ever made was 2 stools out in the shop. I'm this side, and somebody comes in and sits down. And like a great character come in there a few weeks ago, first time I ever met him, lovely big country lad, and he came in and sat down, I'll have a pint of Guinness and a packet of salt and vinegar crisp. That's how the conversation started. And like, we were half an hour, we never discussed a trailer.
Oh.
I didn't know what he wanted, whether he wanted a bulb for a trailer or a trailer. And he came out then and spent 7,500 on a trailer, like.
Unbelievable. But would you agree, Mick, with the statement, people buy from people?
Yeah, I think they do. And I certainly do, like, as well. You know, I certainly do as well. I always buy off people, you know, it's not. And money doesn't really come into it. And now, I'm not saying I'm not going to throw away money foolishly, and I'm not going to charge somebody extra for a trailer for being nice or anything like that. But like, when you build up a relationship with people, like, do you know what I'm saying? They trust you and everything else. And I would be like, I would trust somebody, but if they catch me once, they definitely won't catch me twice.
Yeah.
And I would be the same with people as well. Like, do you know what I'm saying? You'll only catch somebody once.
Absolutely. No,
and
absolutely.
that's it. You're gone. Like, do you know?
For all the companies, let's say, that you're working with, your long-term customers, how have they reacted to your TikTok fame?
In fairness, some of them actually got onto me at the start. MTech is a company I deal with, and Trey's actually, she would be, you know, behind that company, with all the media, marketing, everything, and her sister Nolene as well. And they were very, very, very positive with it,
doing that.
Yeah.
If a company or a business owner, Mick, says their product isn't exciting enough for a TikTok video or a social media video, what advice would you give them?
It's not the product, do you know, it's the person, do you know? Make it exciting, do you know?
Absolutely.
Like, do you know, if it comes to the day that I have to start jumping out of trailers, I will do it, do you know? If I have to, I will, do you know?
In terms of, look, and with TikTok, with socials, obviously comes weddings, walking down the street, being noticed, Mick.
Yeah.
Give us a story.
Yeah, I'll give you two brilliant stories.
Tell us.
I was in filling diesel in Roscommon a couple of weeks ago, and I was at the pumps, and a fella pulled up in the car, and I could see him looking out at me. And next thing, he looked back, and he was talking to somebody, the driver said, next thing he hopped out of the car, "You're the trailer man." And I said, "Yeah, man." Like, he had a strong accent, like he wasn't from Roscommon. And he said, "All right, yeah." He said, "I actually follow you on TikTok." And I said, "Oh, fair play to you." He said, "I love your videos." He said, you know, and we just got chatting. He was from, I think, the Kerry-Limerick border. And he was on the way to Mayo to buy a Jeep. And like, it was just, I said, I'm going to have to start selling merchandise now. But like,
make trailers great again.
Make trailers great again. But and just brilliant. Like, you know, we had a great chat and everything else and the whole lot, you know, it was just. And then I was at a wedding recently. Now I'm blaming the free bar for this. But at the end of the night, a fella come up to me and he said, "I know you from someplace." And he said, "I was walking up the chapel today," it was after Holy Communion, and he said, "I recognised you." And he said, "All day it's bothering me," he said, "and it's just after hitting me," he said, "TikTok." And he started showing everybody at the table a video of me, and I was just, oh jeez.
You're around signing the toys. Fair play to you. So that's brilliant, Mick. That's brilliant.
And that was a wedding in Dublin, like, do you know?
Well, it is though. But your videos get a serious amount of views.
Yeah, and like, do you know, there's over 1 million views on it.
Incredible.
Yeah, and I remember you telling me that at the start, like, do you know, I was probably one of the first in the trailer industry to start it. Sorry, there was one other guy before me, Knopfley, and he actually does brilliant videos. then I started, and I see all my competitors at it. I hope I'm not giving away too much information to them. They'll be all in front of the camera next week. So
there's only one Mick O'Toole trailer this podcast.
Everybody will be ringing you next week.
Can I come on the pod?
Did you look after the marketing for Mick? So Mark, I hope you have I hope I have an exclusive.
We have an exclusive.
Yeah.
No, that's fair, Mick. You're my neighbour, wouldn't you? Mick, coming to the end of this, what's next for Mick O'Toole? What's next for the trailer business?
Going the way I am. Do you know, I want to keep it small, nice, meet nice people, and that's it. And like, even the brands I deal with, I have to plug some of my brands, Mark.
Away, Mick.
But even the brands I deal with there as well, I deal with M-Tech, lovely family-owned business. I was with them from the start. I had big involvement with them. Like, I can pick up the phone to any one of them at any hour of the night, and do you know, if I'm badly stuck for a trailer, discuss things with them. If they're bringing out a new product, they'll come to you, and do you know, just a brilliant relationship with them. And then I deal with Indispension. They're a big UK company, and they'll be a lot more corporate, but I'm very friendly with head guy over all that, Paul Bonner, and like that, I can WhatsApp Paul at 10 o'clock at night about a trailer, and I get it. Dale Kane Trailers, I've started dealing with them recently, and brilliant company to deal with as well. Brilliant business people as well. And I love the fact that, like, I can ring any member of that family. Do you know, his wife is involved in the accounts, his daughter, son, brilliant engineer. I can ring any of them. And like, for instance, a couple of weeks ago, typical Irish story, there was a guy going to France over to one of the camps, and he spotted, with his family, and he spotted a machine over there that it must have been on some website or something like that, and wanted to buy a trailer so that he could go over to France, collect the machine that he was buying, and it was a specific special type low loader that he wanted, and he said he could leave it parked in the guy's yard, and after the holiday he can drive it home. And I had 3 trailers in the yard the same day, 3 Dale Kane low loaders, very popular trailer, but the 3 of them were sold, and I had more on order, but there is a bit of a waiting list for them because they'll be so popular. And I rang Dale, so I did one day at 4 o'clock. I said, Dale, you're not going to believe this. I said, I have a guy badly stuck, I said, for one of these trailers. He's going to France with his family, and he's buying a machine over there, and he's going to bring and he said, right. And at 6 o'clock that evening, Dale rang me, and he said, I'm on the way down to you, because the guy was going. And he drove down, like, and it's 4 hours from his place, landed down to my place at 10 o'clock that night, and the guy collected his trailer the next day. Now, Dale Kane isn't stuck for a trailer sale, do you know what I'm saying? But that's business.
That is it.
He's a long time in business. Like, he was not stuck for a trailer sale. Like, that was just old school business. 10 o'clock at night, he left my yard. Do you know?
That type of sale, that never leaves you, don't make.
No.
You can't, and it's on the very same yourself.
Yeah.
If something comes on at 2 a.m, I want that.
Yeah.
I want it.
And that is a very important sale to get.
Absolutely. But for a lot of companies, leaders lead from the top.
Yeah.
And to see that appetite to get a sale in at that time of night or whenever it might be, that it filters down. It absolutely.
And like, he
down.
left my yard at 10 o'clock. I actually said to him, we've spare rooms now. No, I'll be grand. Like, it was 2 o'clock again, he got home. Like,
incredible.
But like, and as I say, that man is not stuck for the sale. It was all about business.
Yep.
It's not about the money or the sale at the trailer. It was about getting that customer to have a Dale Kane trailer, heading to France to collect his machine. Like,
that's incredible.
Yeah,
that's incredible. Mick, where can people find you? Online and in
online,
person?
TikTok, and I'm only 5 minutes from Athlone. We can be, somebody, Athlone is actually brilliant because you're bang on the centre of Ireland. And I sold a trailer to a fella in Dublin recently, and he told me by the time he gets from the north to the south side, he'd be down to me as quick. He was down to me in an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But he said, like, he could be sitting on the M50.
Yeah.
So I sell an awful lot of trailers to Dublin. Cork is a brilliant county for me, and Clare.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You sell for individuals, you sell to companies, anyone who needs a trailer.
Anyone who needs a trailer, yeah.
You're the man. Well, we'll link you in with your TikTok, so you'll get a couple more followers, I would say, Mick. But look, and Mick, I'm absolutely delighted that you came on this.
Brilliant, and it was a great experience. And look, all I can say is anyone that's listening to this or has a company and, can see it flatline, and like, as I say, I could see mine wasn't, and like, business is absolutely after snowballing since I started doing the TikToks.
Great.
So anyone that has a business that's in any doubt, and it is daunting and everything, but it's only daunting like for the first 2 videos, and then that's, as I say, if Martin King was sick tomorrow, and I'm very disappointed I wasn't asked for the Lifeline job. So, that's the other side to it. And in fairness, Mark, I have to plug you as well. You've been an absolutely brilliant help to my business and everything else, and your advice has got me where I am today.
Mick, on that note, you have tapped in, you have spoke out, and thanks for coming on.
No problem.
Well done, Mick.
Pleasure, Mark.
Fair play to you.